I think I was attracted to the role for a lot of different reasons, partly because I am a woman like many others in a field that has only recently started to have a lot more women in it. So, to a certain extent, when you're kind of living an experience like that, it's on your mind about broadening the field so that we can increase workforce diversity and make it be a little bit more reflective of the community at large. So there's that personal experience. Plus, I also was in addition to being a neuroscience major in college, I was a women's studies major. And so a lot of these issues about topics that related to gender equity, institutional racism, things like that, were very much part of a certain type of training that I was really fortunate to get with my liberal arts college education. One of the biggest things we've accomplished is this new internship program that allows um, people who are currently still training in vascular surgery, either as residents or as fellows, to get some experience reviewing for the journal. And we have interns from all parts of the country. They are paired with mentors. The mentors are either senior reviewers for the journal or editors or part of the editorial board. And they have an obligation to review a certain number of papers throughout the year, write a commentary, and then also attend these lectures where we talk about how to be more equitable in publishing, and how to kind of write papers and review papers that might address social determinants of health and things like that. Certain changes that we are trying to implement in the journal regarding accountability on the part of authors as well as on the part of reviewers and editorial staff to try and determine whether a particular paper, if it's someone who's reviewing, has addressed whether this particular paper speaks to any social determinants of health as it pertains to vascular surgery. There's been a lot of people within the field who have recognized areas in which maybe the workforce was not as reflective of the community and needed to make changes. And these have been things that have been recognized for a long time. You are right that it seems like the momentum really increased over the last 18 months, probably as part of a global trend in that area, which I think is overdue, honestly. But I think our field in vascular surgery has responded well. The Society for Vascular Surgery has a DEI committee that was developed kind of on the basis of a task force that was put into place to try to investigate some of these issues. And they've been quite responsive to the call to be more curious about the field and about the workforce diversity issues and about how certain types of vascular diseases affect different type of people in our country. And I'm speaking just now about the United States, but globally, this also is, could be extended towards the global population as well. Whether they're perceived, whether they're real, there are certain barriers that I think people feel when they want to enter the field of surgery or a surgical field and feel stymied because they don't see people who look like them in that role. And again, I do think that surgery, vascular surgery, medicine in general has made huge strides to try to overcome those barriers. But I still think there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of guidance that is out there on this topic. And actually, Elsevier, which is the company that publishes the JBS, has on it webinars on this topic on how to report on sex and gender, how to report on social determinants of health. So there are a lot of resources out there, and I would encourage authors who are publishing in this space to look to resources like that, that are available through the journals and available through the publishing companies. And we are putting forth guidelines in terms of how to report. So there are these guidelines, the sex and gender equity in research that can help authors navigate some of the wording when you're talking about, whether you're going to talk about women versus females, and how to make that distinction in research, because it's different when you're talking about humans versus whether you're talking about animal research, how to incorporate socioeconomic and racial differences in your reporting, and what might be some of the best ways to make sure that the appropriate stakeholders are included or at least addressed in the correct way in the research. There's a lot of guidance out there, and if there's any question, they could also reach out to the editors to maybe get some feedback and see if there's a way that their writing in that space can be optimized.